day programs are basically, they give you a break during the day. So as a caregiver, you may be able to take your parent or your relative into a place, and they'll look after them. They'll keep them safe. They'll give them activities to do, and so it can be a lifesaver, particularly if you have a job or you have other things that you have to do. A day program can be a wonderful thing, and sometimes they're subsidized, sometimes not. They can be expensive, not expensive. It depends on where you're located and also the program that you choose. Respite care is geared towards, if you need a longer break. So, that's not just you're in your day program, but you want a week away for a family vacation, or you want, a month off because you have a heavy project to do, or you have to be out of town or something like that. And so again, it can be public or it can be private. So if it's public, it would be subsidized. But you'd need a referral for that, and you should apply for it as soon as possible, because there's waiting lists for everything, and there's waiting lists for that as well. So if you have particular dates in mind, you need to provide them immediately. If you're doing private care, well, you can do that at any point. Finding out about which organizations are available is, again, not the easiest thing in the world, but most nursing homes will provide some respite care if they have a bed available, and some retirement homes will provide it, although they don't all deal with people with Alzheimer's and dementia. So yeah, you would have to call, and you'd also have to go through an interview process, because they'd want to make sure that your parent isn't going to have behavioral problems or be violent or whatever, because they have other residents to worry about. Yeah, so there are things out there. I mean, there's most big cities would have some kind of transportation system for people who are disabled or cognitively challenged. So, we have Wheel-Trans in Toronto. BC has Handy Dart, I think it's called. So you could access that service. Your pharmacist is a great resource, because they can, they'll often taking medication is sometimes difficult for people with dementia or Alzheimer's. So they forget that they've taken it, or they forget to take it. And so pharmacists can sort of provide medications in blister packs, so that they know that, okay, this is this day, I'll just take that medication that day, and you can check on it as a caregiver, right? They'll just provide dose sets that have, the days marked out, depending on the stage of dementia. They can be really helpful. They can also, warn you about side effects, and they're more accessible often than your doctor, so they're a great resource. Meals on Wheels, is another one that people can access. If you're, again, oftentimes people, as they develop dementia, may not be very good at preparing meals. They're also often not very good at eating them, though. That's the issue. And there may be volunteer organizations in your area as well that have, that are able to provide some help. They might come and visit with a senior or sit with them while they eat, Sometimes local Alzheimer's societies are really very effective. I mean, the First Link program, I think, is a wonderful program in some places. It's not the same everywhere, and some provinces don't have it at all. The idea is that it puts you in touch with someone right away who can refer you to the services that you need and can follow you all the way through the process. Someone who has experience. And one woman I spoke to in BC had a fantastic experience with the First Link program in Vancouver. She got great help. Her mother was referred to a day program that was kind of a movement and memory program, which she thought was working well for her, and which her mother didn't mind going to. and they also referred her to the Handy Dart service, picked her mom up and took her to the program. So yeah, it can be great. Geriatric care managers, they're becoming a big thing in the US, and lately in Canada you're seeing a growing number of geriatric care managers. They're people who can kind of manage the process of care for an aging parent or relatives. Managing the process is difficult enough if you live in the same city as your parent, but if you don't, it's really difficult. So a geriatric care manager would just sort of monitor how the individual is doing, what kinds of services could they set in place to ensure that they stay in their home as long as possible, which is usually what they want. They would follow them through the hospital system. If there's an emergency, they'd go into the hospital with them, communicate with the doctor, bring their list of medications. They just they're kind of a rent-a-son, really, or rent-a-daughter.